Welcome, everyone. It's Sunday service. Always glad to come forward on Sunday, any day. I'm able to come forward and to be used as a vessel of God to deliver God's truth to the children is a wonderful day for me. Wonderful, wonderful Sunday, you guys. Today's Sunday service, we will be reading out of the book. We're going to start with the book of Hebrews. We're going to read couple of verses out of the book of Hebrews chapter 11. Before I do so, I'm going to go ahead on and invoke the Spirit of God to assist me in the discernment of God's word. Heavenly Father, I come before you in love, looking for you. Use me today and every day as your vessel to convey your truths to the children. Lessen me, magnify you, move freely in this space. Have your way in this room, in this house. Remove all energies that are not conducive to your highest and your greatest good through me. And replace them with loving and harmonious, supportive energies that support all that you choose to do within me, through me, and within this space. I love you so deeply and I thank you. And in God's name I pray, amen. All right, y'all. So again, we're going to be reading from the book of Hebrews today, chapter 11. I know that many of you may have seen the meme that I posted on my social media page of a woman that looks like me. I created that, so I didn't have anything else to pull from. So standing and she's bound. She looks like she's bound. She looks like she's bound by ropes and that she's blindfolded. She looks, if you just look at it at a glance, as if she's boxed in. But if you further inspect the imagery, you will see that she's not boxed in, that there is a way out of the environment she's in right behind her. And that all she'll need to do is take her blindfold off that is not tightly bound to her eyes. You'll notice that in the imagery, the blindfold is not super tight. And you'll also notice that the rope that is binding her arms, or that looks to show through symbolism that her arms are bound, are really not that tight. That she can wiggle and finagle her way out of the constraints that she has upon her. It seems as if she's willingly standing there, intentionally, looking like she's bound up, looking like she's limited, looking as if her perception or her perspective is limited to that environment, but she's really not. It seems as if she chooses or has chosen to stand there in that position, to show herself in that projection, because she has everything that she needs to undo whatever it is that she is standing in and move around freely if she chooses to do so. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that. I'm going to start with the book of Hebrews, chapter 11. I'm going to read one verse, and that is the opening verse, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We're going to talk about faith today. And not only faith, but we're going to talk about knowing. The book of Hebrews opens up with this one scripture speaking to faith. And it says that faith is substance. It's the substance of all the things that you have hoped for. And not only is it the substance of all the things that you could ever imagine and desire in this world, it is the evidence of anything that you have not seen. Anything that you have not seen manifest yet through someone else's faith? Because anything that you've seen manifest in this life came about by somebody else's imagination, someone else's faith in the fact that that thing could come forth. And they did the work in pulling it from the invisible to the visible. But everybody's pulling from the same place. It says that faith is your portion. Faith is the fullness of your portion, friend. If you can imagine it, you must use the vehicle of faith to bring it to you. It's as if faith is, because I wrote some notes here, faith is the first interaction that we all have with the aspects of life, of the fullness of life. It is the first interaction we have with all things that we've imagined. All things, friend, good or bad. You need faith to bring those things forward. Fear regarding the things that we don't want is a vehicle of faith. It's just the opposite side of the spectrum. It is the fear of a thing, the acknowledgement that it could possibly come about. Even though you hope it doesn't, it is the fear that acts as the vehicle of faith to the things that we say we don't want. Faith is the aspect, the vehicle, that brings us into interaction with. It leads us to the things that we desire. Yet, the things we desire are so vast throughout the entirety of our lives. We will constantly use this vehicle of faith or fear, which is another aspect of faith, but on the opposite side, to bring to us things that either we desire or we don't desire. But they are all brought upon by these vehicles of faith. The first verse of chapter 11 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the culmination. It is the bringing forth the things that we imagine in our minds to be and materializing them. It is the vehicle of faith that allows them to materialize in our lives. It is also the evidence, proof that such things are possible. Proof that the imaginations, the things that we can conceive in the mind's eye, are plausible. That they are actually capable of being brought forth from the invisible into the physical world. It is faith that proves such things. And we will prove these things time and time again throughout the entirety of our lives. I'm going to take it further. After we have interacted with faith for an extended amount of time, we've got to be able to get a rhythm with it. It's just like anything else in life that we do. The first time we don't have a full grasp on it. We're timid with it. But then after we've approached it more than once, we're learning it, we're getting a rhythm with it, we move into knowing it. We move beyond faith to knowing something, right? You can think back to the first time you interacted with that thing. You remember how timid you were, how delicate you approached the situation. But then the more you finagled with it, the more you interacted with it, the more you learned it, you mastered aspects of it. Now you are residing in the house of knowing of that thing. You don't need to speak reluctantly to it any longer. You don't need to say, I'm an amateur at it. I don't really know too much about it, but I did try it. I'm still in the learning phase. After a while, you should get to a place where you've said, I know this. I know this like I know this like I know this. Like, I don't need anybody to vouch for me. I don't need anybody to have been there and seen me interact with it. You put me in any scenario, I'm going to be able to utilize that because I've utilized it in various ways up to now. I know this. It is God's intention for us in our lives, through the vehicle of faith, to come to know the different aspects of God. It is God's intention for us in all of our lives to come to know the different aspects of life. And it is God's intention to use the vehicle of faith as the introductory vehicle that we utilize to approach those things. But it is not was it ever God's idea for us to stay in that particular situation under the umbrella of faith? There must be a passing of the baton from faith to knowing after you stuck it out with that thing for a duration of time. It doesn't mean that you're going to abandon faith. It doesn't mean that faith is not necessary. Faith is vital because in life, there's so many different aspects of God. There's so many different nuances to life that we'll always need to be learning. I've said this in past podcasts or Bible studies that we'll never grasp the fullness of this life, friend. One perception you have on a thing, you've mastered, and then God will present you with a new circumstance within that same thing, and you will need to look at it differently, like Eve looked at the tree differently. Yet it was something she should not have done, because she came into knowledge of something, and it forced her to look at something that she had seen every single day differently. Yet there will be many things that we will encounter in life that God has ordained for us to encounter, that it is our creation to encounter. And we will, through the vehicle of faith, encounter those things and walk timidly in our interaction with them until we begin to find a rhythm in that aspect of that thing. And then we master that. And then God says, okay, now I need you to turn left, or I need you to turn right. And I need you to look at this thing from these different perspectives. And for each new perspective, you will need to utilize the same vehicle you utilized all along from the beginning when you first approached that thing, and that is the vehicle of faith. Even though you know certain aspects of it, you will need faith to learn new aspects. Faith is the fixated vehicle that leads us to all things new. It would be through faith that these children would do monumental things. Through the vehicle of faith, they would embark upon a majestic journey in life. The same world that their forefathers had lived upon. The same world that they had grown up and known. Yet with a new perspective. A new way of thinking. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Barak, Gideon, Moses. All of these people would use the vehicle of faith to see the world from a new perspective. They would not be able to know the fullness of their experiences. They would need to utilize the vehicle of faith to come in and out of tremendous circumstances, difficulties, monumental difficulties, frightening things. And after coming in and out of them, they all would arrive within the house of knowing of certain aspects needed to be able to be utilized to have overcome those circumstances. Internally building themselves up by way of the vehicle of faith that after mastery turns into knowing. Friend, I'm here to tell you, you are wasting your time if all you've gotten out of your life is a bunch of faith. I'm telling you. I know many of you might not agree with me, and that's okay. This channel is to challenge your thinking. Faith should be the introductory vehicle to all of your experiences in life. Yet it is your job to be inquisitive, determined, dedicated to overcoming those situations, to learning those situations, to mastering them, being dedicated enough to get the most out of them when they appear in your life, to get the most out of your fascinations, to go deeply into them, to pay enough attention to them so that you get an intricate level of knowing of them, of knowledge of them. Lest your faith is in vain. What does that say about your faith? That means that you only get surface level stuff. That means that you never stick with anything long enough to really get the fullness of it, which is your creation. You were never created. God did not put as much emphasis in our creation for us to only get a bunch of surface level stuff. It was God's intention in creating Adam, giving Adam the capacity to withhold knowledge, to utilize it and cultivate it within his own system, to dominate this kingdom. And in order to dominate this kingdom, he could never rest only within faith. He's got to reach the house of knowing. His faith must be transformed into knowing. Or else he's just buying time. I'll prove this. In the book of Hosea, we see in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I also will reject thee. And thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children." This is a very important scripture because in its simplicity, it speaks power. God is saying, you've just rested at faith. Faith is the entrance to all the fullness I have for you in this life. You got to have faith to reach the door of the fullness of all that I have for you in this life. You've got to believe it exists. You've got to trust your own thinking. Because faith relies upon your thinking. It relies upon your memory, your connectivity to something greater, your connectivity to all things of this realm. Because you don't read about the things that your imagination creates. You don't need to go to school for a teacher to teach you about your own imagination. You're raised in that from a child to grow into that. There's a young boy that lives in my community. I see him when I walk my dog sometimes. And his mom doesn't have the best looking yard. There's grass in some areas and dirt in others. Yet that little boy, the entirety of the lawn, friend, if you were to pass by his house, you wouldn't be able to notice it off the top because of the color of the grass. The grass is not green, it's like dirt and it's brown. But he has all of these dinosaurs and these prehistoric animals and these soldiers all arrayed on the lawn. Like, he's got armies in certain areas. He got animals being eaten by other animals. It's beautiful. He has a whole situation. It's got to be at least 100 of them little things out there, maybe more. He has a whole movie going on that lawn. That's his own world. He don't care nothing about that grass being messed up. He has, through his imagination, made it useful to him. He didn't need to learn that from somebody. Do you think he's Googled that on YouTube and saw some other kids doing that and he said, oh, I can try that? I remember, I'm the only girl. My brother used to do the same thing when I was a little girl. We didn't have the internet. It was just something in him that came forward innately. It would take faith for him to think it possible, to go out and scout out things and to even imagine in certain ways that it could be done. It would take faith to lead him to the door of such a vast database of possibilities. And it would take activity, the acquiring of the materials, the getting out there in the grass and positioning them and doing whatever it is he does with them, for him to get to the house of knowing how to do such. That might be our tomorrow's Steven Spielberg. He might be a master novelist, all from cultivating from the time he was young, building upon faith. Yet if you don't build the muscle by way of activity and dedication, friend, devotion, what are you devoted to? If you've never stuck with nothing, if you've never been devoted to something, disciplined yourself to your devotion of that thing, how do you ever get to the house of knowing? This is what the Bible is conveying. God said, my people suffer from lack of knowledge. You never reach the house of knowing. You stay stuck in faith. No one has ever pushed you to take the training wheels off of your relationship with God. It's always been easy just to go and get your weekly dose on Sunday. No one's ever challenged you to be the ambassador yourself. Instead of chastising your favorite pastor or your favorite online personality and saying, oh, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're doing this and they're doing that, how about you get a camera and a mic and you be that one to make change instead of criticizing? How about you devote your time, since you care so much, in being that one person that lifts us up? It takes activity to do such. It takes devotion. And it takes for you to stand in the truth and integrity of your creation. God said, my people suffer for lack of knowledge. My people are destroyed, friend. You don't even just suffer. You're going to be destroyed. You are being destroyed. There's no nice way to say it. Because you do not know. Faith is great, but faith means nothing if you never arrive in the house of knowing. God says he will reject you because you reject knowing. And many people seem to feel as if no one's going to hold them accountable. No one's going to know. I'll just skate through. I won't create no waves. I don't really understand. I'll blame it on the fact like I don't understand. I'll blame it on the fact that I don't have anybody to be a resource. I'll blame it on all this stuff. But God says in the Apocrypha that we're given an angel, friend. Just because it's not spelled out to you verbatim in the Bible don't mean that it ain't there. This is where your knowing comes in. Because everything you need to know of God, friend, is not spelled out in the Bible. Many of you think that everything of God is listed right here in this Bible. And I'm here to tell you it's not. That's a misnomer. It's not. If you think God is limited to this Bible, then you're one of those people that has not arrived in the house of knowing. You haven't been dedicated enough in your walk with God to really know. You just know surface level stuff. And that ain't enough. In the testament of Jacob, Jacob speaks to his angel. And we have a portion of what is going on here where the angel is speaking to Jacob. And it says in verse 5 of chapter 1, so the messenger said to him, do not fear, O Jacob. I am the messenger who has been walking with you and guarding you from your infancy. I announced that you would receive the blessing of your father and of Rebekah, your mother. And I am the one who is with you, O Israel, in all your acts and in everything you have witnessed. I saved you from Laban when he was endangering you and pursuing you. At that time, I gave you all his possessions and blessed you, your wives, your children, and your flocks. I am the one who saved you from the hand of Esau. I am the one who accompanied you to the land of Egypt, O Israel. and a very great people was given to you. Blessed is your father Abraham, for he has become the friend of God. May he be exalted because of his generosity and love of strangers. Here we see Jacob's angel speaking to him at a pivotal time in his life. He said it here. I was with you when you were an infant. I've been with you throughout your entire life. You don't see that in the Bible. But you read it in the books that were not added to the biblical canon. Just as relevant, just not added. They didn't get selected. So even if we don't have a witness physically that can vouch for us in the physical world, why would God, knowing his creation, allow us to be dependent upon one another for vouching for our lives? Why would God allow a temperamental man or woman like we are to hold that much power? A corruptible vehicle such as us. I don't care if you're white, black, Latino, Mexican, Arab, Jew, Gentile. I don't care what you are. We're all flawed. Why would God give us that much power without tempering it with something righteous? I'm here to tell you that God has done such. God will use the vessel that aligns properly to God's will to be able to do such. The same vessel that when posed with worldly problems controls themselves and doesn't allow the flesh to overcome the spirit and its or their activity towards those that come against them. Where much is given, much is expected, required. This is the majesty of God's system, y'all. And God has buffers in place all over. Surely there are angels that walk this place that are in physical bodies. And there are invisible angels within each and every one of us that know our thoughts, that know our truest feelings, that know the truest spirit that provokes our actions at whatever instance in our lives. Because there will be multiple spirits: love, anger, jealousy, fear, all spirits. And this angel that is always with us, as I just read to you, will know it. Yet in order for this angel to unlock gifts and blessings upon you, at times in your life when you will need them, or at times in your life when you would have unlocked such gifts, he's got to be able to justify it. This angel is communicating with Jacob that at certain intervals you had reached, you were able to capitalize off of the gifts because you had been dedicated all along. Had you not, that opportunity would have missed you for that season. And you would have had to acquire the level of experiences and ascension so that the next season, when that time came, you could potentially be up for that reward. It's the same way with you and I. But God is saying in the book of Hosea that we suffer from lack of knowledge. We're not reaching it. We're not dedicated to the things that matter, so that we reach the level that we need to have these gifts unlocked. Yet we want them so badly that we aspire for them with the wrong spirit. We'll allow the wrong spirit to be the vehicle in us obtaining them. The book of Numbers, God is speaking to the children and saying, all of these things is yours, friend. Everything, chapter 18, verse 15, everything that openeth the matrix in all flesh, which they bring unto the Lord, whether it be a man or beast, shall be thine. God is giving us the recipe. It's in the spirit. Your striving through faith and you sticking with a thing until you get to know it should be within the right spirit. This is what makes it holy. It's not that you want worldly desires and accolades and materialistic wealth and stuff. It's yours. God is saying in the book of Numbers, and this is thine, and the best of oil is yours, and the best of wine is yours, and the wheat and the first fruits. God has given you the best of everything, friend. It's yours. I don't know where we get this discrepancy with, God wanting us to not have the best, and we've got to live like peasants, and we've got to be poor, and God is not that. God is abundance. God is prosperity, friend. The enemy will come upon you and look to siphon all of your resources, and you will still be abundant. Friend, it has been years in my life where the enemy has come upon me and looked to siphon all of the material wealth that I had, and God has had me in his hand, and I've been in abundance, friend. Abundance. Surely it's been a struggle from some other stuff. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's been all gravy. But I'm here to tell you that God is not here, has not created us to be here to suffer and to struggle. And that the years that the locust ate away, and all of these different things that the enemy comes to destroy, will be given back to you. The only way that you sustain certain things, friend, after coming in and out of experiences through faith and having stuck with things long enough and come to know them, they grant you the ability to endure. Many people will look at you and say, how did you endure that? Friend, I endured it because I know. This is what separates the wheat from the chaff. And my knowing covers me in a way that I don't know if I could even explain it to you. You have to know. You have to know. We were born to know, not just stay in faith. And because many don't know, we are destroyed. You will be destroyed, friend, unless you reach the house of knowing. You got to get to a place of knowing, or friend, you will be destroyed. I want to tell you something different because I love you. And I want you to be happy and to feel full and to be optimistic. But I would be doing you a disservice. I'd be lying to you You must. Not you should. Friend, you must get to the house of knowing. Or else, as God said, you will be rejected. And you will be destroyed. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. This goes for the priesthood. This goes for the neighborhood. This goes for all points in between. No one is above it. None. Your knowing prepares you. Your knowing girds you. Not for stuff of this life, even though it does assist you in this life. It's as if your knowing is building you up for something beyond this life. Something that we know nothing of. Because no one has left here and come back with such a knowing outside of Jesus. This is the powerful aspect of the testimony of Christ. We have proof by way of Jesus what this knowing can and will do. By way of Jesus, this knowing has been tempered. It shows that it can overcome what many people fear. Many people spend their entire lives avoiding thinking about the transitory spaces. This knowing, this way of being, this alignment allows you a level to ascend a ladder within your own spirit to build your own kingdom up. And in such, the perils of death can't touch you. You're light as a feather. Your spirit is light, friend. You're quick. You're not weighed down by the burdens of this life and the nonsense of it. That's why the enemy has created the systems in which he has, using comforts, things that slow you up, things that lead you nowhere, trapdoors. And the systems designed to indebt you, to burden you with emotional debts that weigh heavy on the spirit, so that you are trapped here. You never go no further than this. I know it's cliche in this life for people to say nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. I remember when I was going through my storm, one leg of it, I've been through many of them, friend. One leg of my storm, I would hear people say things proudly. Nobody's coming to save you. Like, duh. You think I'm waiting on somebody to come save me, friend? Do you think I made it this far depending on people to save me? I'm trying to figure out how God is moving. That's why I put that visual up there on social media today of that woman with the ropes around her and the blindfold on her. It looks like she's bound, but she's really not. She's not bound. She looks like she is to people that don't know. Someone will look at you and say, no one's coming to save you. And you're looking like, I wasn't expecting that. But because you don't understand, you don't know, you're only approaching me from your perspective. And your perspective is not my truth. And I'm just not that interested in explaining it to you. Surely I'm interested in rectifying and righting a wrong if it was a wrong that I can right. We will spend time doing that because that's just the way of life. But never was on my mind. The woman that stands before with what looks like ropes binding her is symbolically, in my interpretation, conveying what it looks like to walk by faith. You got all the choices in the world. You don't have to walk by faith. You can choose not to have faith. You can easily undo yourself and go back out to the world that you were living before. And to many people, you will look like you're bound. You will look like you don't have a choice. You will look silly. People will say, why are you dealing with that? Why are you standing there? You could take these ropes off of you. She chooses to do this. She chooses to do that. And I guess you could say they do choose to. But in order to withstand all of that, all the ridicule, the misunderstandings, the projections, in order to be able to stand in the strength it takes to be viewed like that, knowing you must know something different. You must have arrived at the house of knowing. Because if you hadn't, all the judgments, all the ridicule would have peer pressured you out of that. You would have been like, you know what, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm going to go back home and figure out another thing to do. You must have your actions tempered with knowing. And it is your knowing that allows you to weather whatever. So to one person, it looks like someone's coming, you're waiting on someone to save you. And to another, it looks like you have some sort of purpose that you're just not communicating. And you will sit there while people have the wrong perception of you, telling you that no one's coming to save you and all this kind of stuff. And you in your mind will say, ditto. You think? No one's coming to save you either, friend. I'm glad you know that. I'm glad we have come to an agreement here. I know no one's coming to save me. That's why I focus on things that equip me spiritually, so that I'm in alignment to real power. And through that power, I'm able to save myself. I'm able to align to truths and to resources that are always within my reach so that I don't have to wait for no man or no woman to do for me what I can do for myself. And I hope you do too. Because God is saying his children suffer from lack of knowledge. You've got all the faith in the world. You know all the little knick-knack stuff of this world. Surface level stuff. But have you come into the realization of your role in this? Do you reside within the house of knowing? Have you reached it? It's not a trick question. It's not a question that I'll be able to get an answer from you. I'm not expecting you to say, yeah, I've reached. It wouldn't matter to me if you said yes or no. Because I don't have to know it for you. You've got to know it for you. Because everything is residing on it. God is saying it's no more time for it. Just as the children of Israel in the book of Jeremiah, when God came and sunk the temple of Jerusalem into the ground and put Israel in the corner, took the scepter of power from them, from the Hebraic house, and gave it to Babylon. The children of Israel, the children of the Hebrews, were upset, and they said, you know what? We're going to scatter like some beans, every man and woman for themselves. We're going to barter off all of the knowledge that we have because we no longer have a kingdom. And since God wanted us to go into enslavement with these people, then we're going to just get high-ranking roles in this kingdom and barter off what we know. We know we shouldn't do it, but it seems as if we're in the beginning of a long punishment. Hopefully that generation further down the line will get it back together and come back into alignment with God. But for us, we're about to just go for self. But now it's 2026. We're at the end of a major cycle. We're at the time that those in the book of Jeremiah and Baruch were wishing for. Because they knew it would be so far away, they just said, well, we're just going to go and we're going to go for comforts. But just as I said the other day with the problems that come upon you at different seasons of your life, when I was speaking to the prodigal son, one problem comes and it siphons everything, and you think, okay, well, something good will come and I'll re-up and I won't lose everything. One problem will come and it will siphon a lot of resources. But then a famine hits. Who would have thought a famine would come? Like, I've never experienced a famine in my whole life. Who would think? And especially now, it's the same way with the children of Israel, the Hebraic house, when they went into captivity with Babylon after God took the scepter of power from them. They started bartering, severely transgressing the law of God. And they thought, we won't ever get too far. And then time passed. God had them in that wilderness for a long time, friend. We're still in it. Many people say, well, why is God still why are we still talking about this same biblical storyline? Because the cycle hasn't ended. That's how long this thing been. And here we are today. Seeing the fullness of this walk. Many walking in ignorance, totally oblivious. Completely oblivious. Lacking knowledge. getting information and never arriving at the house of knowledge. Just constantly absorbing information. You got books, libraries, videos, DVDs, a huge database on YouTube. You know all of this, you know all of that. Yet you've not arrived at the house of knowledge. You've acquired all of this stuff. You got the perfect resume. Your bibliography looks excellent. But you don't know. You can't connect the dots. And you're so boggled down with fear of betrayal of God, whom you're betraying, because you're not standing in knowledge that you're like the woman standing in front of the gate, bound, but not thinking that, well, we'll just keep coming back to this. Worst case scenario, we'll just keep coming back to this. We at the end of a cycle. I don't need to tell you that again. Friend, you need to connect the dots. God has said so many times in this book. We're about to get to Revelation. I'm going to wrap it up with Revelation. God has said so many times, this world is going to change. And either you're going to rise to the occasion so that you have a space in the new world, or you're going to be done away with. God just said, my people are destroyed. He didn't say suffer. He said you're destroyed, friend, for lack of knowledge. And because you reject knowledge, God will reject you. And you think you got everything banking on coming back here time and time again? The fallen ones haven't even gotten the wisdom of overcoming God's punishment, friend. Where are you going to go? Oh, okay. You're going to leave. Oh, you're going to leave and go somewhere else? Do you not think that the Creator knows that? Honestly, do you not? How do you escape you? We got a spiritual GPS system up in here, in the avatar. Many people say, "Oh, the beast is at the end of the day, at the end of the time, the governmental systems and all of this is going to put this in the human body, and they're going to be able to track us and do this and that." Well, if they were able to conceive the thought of such, where'd they get it? They create nothing. They're copying their Creator. Everybody has a boss, friend. And if they're copying their Creator, the Creator would know everything that they're going to do. The book of Revelation. This is where your knowing comes in at. This is how your knowing will serve you. Chapter 5. And I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. He's saying none of them was able to do it, friend. Not in this realm at all. Not a man in heaven, not a being in the heavenly abode, not a being on the earth, not even those that live in the earth. None of them. Not a devil, not a genie, not a man, not a woman, none. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Nobody was even worthy to be in the vicinity. They didn't want no parts of it. My people are destroyed, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Nobody had the knowledge. The knowledge is what makes you feel worthy, friend. Your knowing. To know is to glow. That's the word. To know is to glow. It's something about it just makes you glow. To tap in and for all the connections to coalesce together. It creates an ambiance within you. You'll be audacious. Friend, you will enter into strange circles, not because you're pompous and arrogant, no, but because you know. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. The Bible is saying that the vine of the king, David, somebody came through, overcame, stuck with it. Friend, wrestled with it worse than Jacob and the angel. Overcame. Qualified themselves out of love. Because that is what dedication does. When you tap in through the vertical of faith, the vehicle of faith, and you get to walking it, and you become dedicated to it, and you learn it, you love it. It's a loving thing. This is not pompous and arrogant and egotistical. This ain't that. This is, I'll endure all things because I love it. I don't care what you think of me. Friend, I'm standing out here, got the ropes all around me. I got the headband on. I'm standing in mud. I don't care what you think of me. I have a purpose to stand here. I'm bound by my inner resolve. My eyes are closed. All I see is what is internal. And I could care less about what it looks like to you. I have a purpose. And it's not for me to spell it out to you. It's for you to tap in and for you to have your purpose too. And then you looking at me will make more sense. And when I look at you, it will make sense as well. The one that tapped in through purpose, through devotion, through dedication, would overcome. And it would reward him or her with the ability to be useful at a time when it was monumental, serving them and everybody else. Reaching the goal, the threshold of their creation, taking the ball further, reaping a reward in this life for things that matter, not having to go run and hide and flee from yourself, not having to psych yourself out because you've wasted time on things that don't matter, because you never saw yourself worthy. And you're ridden down with guilt because of things you've done for dust. For dust, friend. Never once feeling strong enough to change your mind because you are completely ignorant to the true things of God. You know nothing of them. You need a guarantee. And in this life, there are no guarantees. There's none. But it seems with God, you need a guarantee. You need to know, okay, if I do this, will I not guarantee this? But you don't get a guarantee from nobody else. In the book of in the testament of Abraham, it speaks to the wicked one having dominion in the world. It speaks to him having a level of dominion in the revelation of Abraham. It speaks to him having a level of dominion in the world, and how God would allow it. So surely, in the testament of Abraham, so surely there is power in Satan's kingdom. Nobody is denouncing that. I will tell you all at every chance I get, you got to show some respect to your opponent. You've got to. However, this, the level of respect you need to show is to the righteous nature of God. Surely he has dominion, friend. But he's bound by rules and constraints. The only person that has freedom and dominion is God. And God chooses to honor his rules. He's the only one that is wise enough to be able to change a thing that he is either spoken or done by tempering it with something else, lessening the outcome, the negative outcome of it. He's the only one. Whereas whenever he speaks to Satan and any of Satan's dominion, those that he is responsible for, it is what it is. And whether you align to God's kingdom, the righteous aspects of God, or you align to the wicked, they're all your choice. You've got to bear the brunt of that. It's all you. You've got to be wise enough in your alignment and making that executive decision as sovereign being to be able to play God. You've got to be able to manage your walk, to temper the negative feelings that come from all the wickedness you've done, you continue to do, with things that can allow you to lessen their impact in your life. You've got to be the master alchemist in that. And I just don't know if any of y'all are able to do it. I've not ever seen anybody that's been that wise to do such. You can look high and low in this Bible. I've not ever seen it. These kings that we speak to in Babylon and all these were mighty people, friend. Let's say mighty spirits, friend. And not one of them, friend, not one of them was wise enough to overcome it. Show me where. I love to see it, and I'm not being facetious. I'm being honest. Where? From Nimrod to just all of them. Where? Every single knee bow down. This is my Bible study for my Sunday service for you today. More like a Bible study, but it is what it is. You alone are responsible for your soul. You alone. I saw something on social media about, it was a podcast, and the guy was talking about taking memory and putting it, like taking the human memory and putting it into another body and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, I guess it's possible. And it made me think back to what I spoke to about Jacob and this angel. And his angel is telling him, I've been with you since you were an infant. I'm the reason why this worked out and why that happened. And I'm the reason that you were protected here and all these different things. The angel is telling Jacob that I've been a witness to your life for all of your life. It's just been me and you, friend. I've been so close to you, friend, that you think I'm you. Each and every one of us has a witness to our lives. All of these things that men do are copies of what God has already done, lest they wouldn't have it. The fallen ones, all the mighty spirits that inhabit this realm, all of them, they wouldn't have it lest they were privy to it, because everything is given through God. All of these things are just different aspects of God. They're impressive to us because we suffer from lack of knowledge. We're destroyed because of lack of knowledge. But they're not impressive in the big scheme of things. This is not a realm that is going to wow you spiritually. It's pretty low level, honestly, in the big scheme of things. So there is no robbery. There is no theft that man can do to you. The true aspect of you, the knowing aspect of you. There's none. Wouldn't you have thought that if that was the case, they would have done that to Jesus? Jesus would have been the poster child of somebody that they would have robbed, friend. You don't think that they knew who Jesus was when he was walking the earth? They knew exactly who he was. But they were limited in their interaction with him. But because they save face, this is a place of deep projections. They spin the narrative. You don't think that they would have siphoned Jesus's consciousness or done this and that to Jesus? You don't think they would have did that? You don't think that they would have taken Jesus's soul If anybody's free. You don't think they had it, the technology back then? Come on, friend. They were doing stuff way back then that we can't even do today. Look at the pyramids. Look at the different architecture across this planet. Why didn't they do that to Jesus? You got to keep going because you are loved more than you'll ever know. Last thing. They say these last couple of days has been this deep karmic web, this thing where, the karma is being sped up and reset and all this kind of stuff. And it might be. Regardless, when you focus on the righteousness and you focus on the things that matter and that serve you in your life, you're covered, friend, from head to toe. Whatever the enemy has designed to try to trip you up with or to sabotage you by, he must fall in. He'll just add another layer, another penalty to all the penalties he's going to have to pay for. And bless you. No. These are the things of knowing. Because without knowing, you walk blindly. You fear. You're led astray. This is why God said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Their lack of knowledge and looking to sabotage other people is what will destroy them. And your lack of knowledge to your alignment, your truth, will destroy you as well. We're all bound by the same laws and constraints, friend. None is better than another. We all neck to neck. The beauty of God, friend. You love more than you'll ever know. I'll never stop telling you. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another.